Walking has been the cornerstone of fitness advice for people over 60 for decades. Doctors recommend it, friends swear by it, and countless studies have shown its cardiovascular benefits. But here's what almost nobody is telling you. For a growing number of people in your age group, walking alone might be accelerating the very decline you're trying to prevent. Recent data from orthopedic and geriatric specialists suggests that up to 40% of adults over 60 who walk regularly as their primary exercise are unknowingly creating imbalances that increase fall risk, weaken critical stabilizer muscles, and leave them more vulnerable to fractures than if they had added just 2 other movement patterns to their routine. That statistic should stop you in your tracks. Now, before you think I'm about to tell you to abandon walking entirely, let me be clear. Walking remains valuable, but the science on aging bodies has evolved dramatically in the past 5 years, and what we now understand is that walking by itself creates a dangerous gap in your physical resilience. The movements I'm about to share with you address that gap directly. I'm going to show you 6 things you should be doing instead of only walking, ranked from helpful to absolutely essential. Number 2 on this list is so counterintuitive that even physical therapists debated it for years. And number 1 is a movement pattern so simple you can do it in 90 seconds, yet it has been shown in multiple analyses to reduce your fall risk by up to 30% in just 3 weeks. That's not a typo. 3 weeks. I want you to do something right now. Drop a comment below telling me your age and where you're watching from. It helps me understand who's here and what you need most. Don't worry about spelling or grammar. Just your age and city or country. I read every single one. Let's start with number 6. Stop walking without resistance and start adding weighted carries to your routine. Here's what happens when you walk without any load. Your cardiovascular system gets a workout, yes, but your bones receive almost no signal to maintain or build density. Bone is living tissue that responds to stress, and walking alone doesn't create enough mechanical load to tell your skeleton to stay strong. Data from bone density studies consistently show that people who walk daily but do nothing else often continue to lose bone mass at the same rate as sedentary individuals. The magic happens when you carry something. I worked with a woman named Margaret, 72, a retired librarian from Ohio who loved her morning walks. She'd been doing 3 miles a day for a decade, but her last bone density scan showed osteopenia progressing toward osteoporosis, and her doctor was talking about medication. Margaret didn't want that. So we made one change. She started carrying a 5-pound dumbbell in each hand for half of her walk. Just half. Within 6 months, her follow-up scan showed her bone loss had not only stopped but reversed slightly in her forearms and spine. Her doctor was stunned. Margaret still walks the same distance, but now her bones are getting the message they need. Here's your protocol. Start with 2 to 5 pounds in each hand, depending on your current strength. You can use light dumbbells, water bottles, or even cans of soup if that's what you have. Walk your normal route but hold the weights down at your sides with your arms straight. Don't swing them aggressively. Just let the extra load travel with you. Do this for 10 to 15 minutes, 3 times a week. If 5 pounds feels too easy after a month, go up to 8. The goal is not to exhaust yourself but to give your bones a reason to adapt. And here's the kicker. This also strengthens your grip, which is one of the most reliable predictors of longevity in older adults. Weak grip correlates with higher mortality risk across dozens of studies. So you're hitting 2 critical targets with one simple adjustment. Number 5. Stop walking on flat surfaces only and start incorporating stairs or inclines. Walking on level ground uses your muscles in a very limited range of motion. Your hip flexors lift your leg, your quads straighten your knee, and your calves push you forward. That's it. But when you age, the muscles that suffer most are the ones responsible for lifting you up against gravity, particularly your glutes and the deeper hip stabilizers. Flat walking doesn't challenge those at all. Stairs and hills do. Research from movement science labs has shown that climbing even a single flight of stairs recruits up to 40% more muscle fibers in your glutes and quads than walking the same distance on flat ground. That means more strength, better balance, and a significantly lower chance of that devastating fall that changes everything. I can't overstate how important this is. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related death in people over 65, And the majority of those falls happen because the stabilizer muscles fail during a moment of imbalance. Let me tell you about Robert, 68, a former accountant from Michigan. He walked his neighborhood loop every evening, 2 miles, perfectly flat. He felt healthy until one winter day he stepped off a curb wrong and his hip gave out. He didn't break anything, but the near miss terrified him. When we assessed his movement, his glutes were barely activating. They'd gone to sleep from years of flat walking. We added just 2 flights of stairs to his routine, twice a week. He'd walk to a nearby parking garage, climb 2 flights, walk back down and go home. Within a month, he told me he felt more stable getting in and out of his car. Within 3 months, he was climbing 4 flights without stopping, and his confidence was back. Your protocol: find a staircase or a hill in your area. Start with just 1 or 2 flights, or a gentle incline for 5 minutes. Use the handrail if you need to, there's no shame in that. The goal is controlled effort, not speed. Do this twice a week to start. As you get stronger, add more flights or a steeper hill. If you have knee pain, go slowly and focus on controlled lowering on the way down. That eccentric loading is actually where a lot of the strength benefit comes from. And if stairs are truly not an option due to joint issues, look for a gentle hill or even set your treadmill to a 3 or 4% incline. The angle matters more than the speed. Number 4. Stop walking without lateral movement and start including side steps or crossover walks. Here's a truth that will change how you think about mobility. Almost everything you do in daily life happens in the forward and backward plane. Walking, sitting, standing, climbing stairs. All of it is front to back. But when you lose your balance and start to fall, your body needs to move sideways to catch you. And if you've spent years only moving forward, those lateral stabilizers are weak or asleep. That's when you go down. Studies on fall mechanics reveal that the majority of falls in older adults happen because the person couldn't step sideways fast enough to regain balance. Their brain sent the signal, but the muscles didn't respond in time. The good news is that lateral movement training wakes those muscles up fast. Faster than almost any other intervention. I had a client named Patricia, 71, a retired nurse from Texas. She walked every morning without fail, but she'd had 2 close calls in the past year where she stumbled and barely caught herself. She was starting to avoid uneven sidewalks out of fear. We added lateral walking to her routine. Just 5 minutes, 3 times a week. She'd stand with her feet together, step to the right with her right foot, bring her left foot to meet it, and repeat for 10 steps. Then reverse and go left. Within 2 weeks, she told me she felt more grounded. Within a month, she was walking on trails again without that constant low-level anxiety. Here's your protocol. Find a hallway or a clear stretch of floor. Stand tall, engage your core slightly, and take a step directly to your right. Bring your left foot to meet it, but don't let your feet touch. Step right again. Do 10 steps to the right, then 10 to the left. Keep your hips level and your chest up. Don't lean. If you feel unsteady, do this near a wall or counter you can touch for balance. Do 3 sets, 3 times a week. Once this feels easy, add a crossover step. Step your right foot to the right, then cross your left foot in front of your right, then step right again. This crossover pattern is incredibly powerful for hip stability and coordination. And here's the beautiful part. It takes less than 5 minutes, but the carryover to real-world balance is immediate. Before we go further, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a near fall or a stumble that scared you? Drop a comment and tell me what happened. Was it a curb, a rug, uneven pavement? I'm genuinely curious because your stories help others realize they're not alone. Number 3. Stop walking without strengthening your feet and start doing daily foot and ankle mobility work. This is the part of the body almost everyone ignores until something goes wrong. Your feet are your foundation. Every step you take, every time you stand up, every moment of balance depends on the strength and mobility of 33 joints and over 100 muscles and tendons in each foot. But if you've spent decades in supportive shoes, and especially if you've relied on orthotics or cushioned sneakers, those small stabilizing muscles have likely atrophied. Your feet have become passive platforms instead of active, responsive tools. Evidence from podiatry and biomechanics research shows that foot strength correlates directly with balance and fall prevention. People with stronger feet have better proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense where it is in space. That's the system that keeps you upright when you step on something unexpected. And the decline in foot strength is not inevitable. It's reversible. Let me tell you about George, 74, a retired carpenter from Oregon. He'd worn heavy work boots his entire career, and by the time he came to me, his feet were stiff and weak. He couldn't spread his toes, couldn't balance on one foot for more than 2 seconds, and he'd rolled his ankle twice in the past year doing absolutely nothing dramatic, just walking across his lawn. We started with simple foot exercises. Within 3 weeks, he could balance on one foot for 15 seconds. Within 2 months, he was hiking again without fear. His exact words were, "I forgot my feet were supposed to do something." Your protocol is straightforward. Sit in a chair and place a small towel on the floor in front of you. Using only your toes, scrunch the towel toward you. Do this for 1 minute per foot. Next, stand and practice lifting just your big toe while keeping the other 4 on the ground, then reverse it. Lift the 4 small toes while keeping the big toe down. This is harder than it sounds and will probably make you laugh the first few times you try. Do 10 reps per foot. Finally, practice single leg balance. Stand on one foot for 20 to 30 seconds, using a counter or wall for support if needed. Do this twice a day, every day. In the morning and before bed. It takes less than 5 minutes total, and the return on investment is massive. Here's the bonus. If you can find time twice a week, walk barefoot on grass or sand for 10 minutes. The uneven surface forces your feet to adapt and respond in ways that flat ground never will. Just watch for sharp objects and start slowly if your feet aren't used to it. Number 2. This is the one that surprises people. Stop walking without training your rotational strength and start doing standing twists and chops. Rotation is the forgotten plane of movement, and it's the one that governs almost every functional task you do. Getting in and out of a car. Reaching for something behind you. Turning to look over your shoulder. All rotation. And here's the problem. Walking involves 0 rotation through your torso. Your arms swing, yes, but your spine stays locked in a forward-facing position. Over time, that rotational capacity disappears. Your thoracic spine stiffens, your obliques weaken, and suddenly you're that person who has to turn their whole body to look behind them because your neck and mid-back won't rotate anymore. Data from spinal health studies shows that loss of thoracic rotation is one of the earliest markers of functional decline in older adults. It's also a significant predictor of back pain and shoulder problems. When your mid-back can't rotate, your lower back and neck try to compensate, and that's when things break down. The good news is that rotational training reverses this quickly. I'll tell you about Linda, 69, a retired teacher from Florida. She walked daily but had developed chronic low back pain that her doctor couldn't explain. No disc issues, no arthritis, just pain. When I assessed her, she could barely rotate her torso 10 degrees in either direction. Everything was locked up. We added standing wood chop exercises with a light resistance band. Twice a week, 3 sets of 10. Within a month, her back pain was 50% better. Within 2 months, it was gone. She could rotate 40 degrees easily, and she told me she felt 10 years younger. Your protocol: stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Hold a light weight, a dumbbell, a water bottle, or even just your hands clasped together. Start with the weight down by your right hip. In one smooth motion, rotate your torso and raise the weight diagonally up and across your body to above your left shoulder, like you're chopping wood in reverse. Your feet can pivot slightly, and your hips should rotate with you. Don't just use your arms. Let your whole torso twist. Do 10 reps, then switch sides. 3 sets, twice a week. If you don't have a weight, you can do this with a resistance band anchored low, or even just practice the motion with no resistance to start. The movement pattern is what matters. Also add simple standing twists. Stand tall, place your hands on your hips or cross them over your chest, and slowly rotate your torso to the right as far as comfortable. Hold for 2 seconds, return to center, then rotate left. 10 each side, once a day. This is a mobility drill, not a strength exercise, so no weight needed. Just smooth, controlled rotation. Do this every morning, and within 2 weeks, You'll notice how much easier it is to look over your shoulder or reach behind you. And now, number 1. Stop walking without practicing single leg stance transitions and start doing step-ups with a pause. This is the most important movement pattern for fall prevention, bar none. Here's why. Most falls don't happen when you're walking steadily on flat ground. They happen during transitions. When you're stepping up onto a curb. When you're getting out of a car. When you're reaching for something and shifting your weight. All of those moments require you to balance on one leg while your body moves through space. If you can't control that single leg position, you're at massive risk. Research on fall prevention has consistently identified single leg balance and step-up strength as the two most predictive factors for who falls and who doesn't. People who can step up onto an 8-inch platform without wobbling or using momentum have a fall risk that's up to 30% lower than those who can't. And the beautiful thing is that this skill is trainable at any age. You don't need to be an athlete. You just need to practice the pattern. Let me tell you about James, 77, a retired pilot from Arizona. He'd had a fall getting out of his truck that resulted in a broken wrist. After he healed, he was terrified it would happen again. His confidence was shattered. We started with step-ups on a 4-inch platform, just a low step stool. He'd step up with his right foot, pause for 3 seconds at the top standing on that leg, then step down with control. 10 reps per leg, 3 times a week. The first week, he needed to hold onto a railing. By week 2, he could do it with just a fingertip touch for balance. By week 3, he was doing it hands-free. 2 months later, he told me he'd gotten in and out of his truck 20 times running errands one day and never once thought about falling. That's freedom. Here's your protocol. Find a stable step or platform that's 4 to 8 inches high. A stair, a sturdy step stool, or even a thick book if you're starting very conservatively. Stand facing the step. Step up with your right foot, press through that heel, and lift your body up until you're standing fully on your right leg. Here's the critical part. Pause for 2 to 3 seconds at the top. Don't rush. Don't let your left foot touch down immediately. Balance there. Feel your right glute and quad working to hold you steady. Then slowly step down with your left foot, lowering with control. That eccentric lowering phase is where huge strength gains happen. Do 8 to 10 reps on your right leg, then switch to your left. 3 sets per leg, 3 times a week. If you feel unsteady, keep one hand on a railing or counter. There's no prize for doing this without support if you're not ready. The goal is controlled movement, not bravado. As you get stronger, you can increase the height of the step or remove the support. You can also add a very light weight in each hand once the movement feels solid. And here's a progression that's incredibly valuable. After you step up and pause, practice lifting your opposite knee up to hip height, so you're standing on one leg with the other knee raised. Hold that for 2 seconds, then step down. This adds a balance challenge that translates directly to real-world situations like stepping over obstacles or getting into a car. Do this consistently for 3 weeks, and I promise you'll feel a difference in how stable and confident you are in everyday life. This one movement pattern addresses strength, balance, and coordination all at once. It's the single most efficient exercise for fall prevention that exists. So let's bring this all together. Walking is not the enemy. But walking alone leaves critical gaps in your physical resilience. You need load to maintain bone density. You need inclines to strengthen the muscles that lift you against gravity. You need lateral movement to train the stabilizers that catch you when you stumble. You need foot and ankle work to build a responsive foundation. You need rotation to keep your spine mobile and pain-free. And you need single leg strength to navigate the transitions where most falls happen. These 6 additions don't take much time. 15 to 20 minutes 3 times a week covers all of it. But the impact is enormous. You don't have to choose between walking and these movements. Do both. Walk for your heart and your head and the joy of being outside. But add these 6 patterns to your routine, and you'll be building a body that's not just mobile but resilient. A body that can handle the unexpected. A body that doesn't break down when life demands more than a stroll on flat ground. Now I want to hear from you. Which one of these 6 changes are you going to try first, and why? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you've already been doing any of these, tell me what you've noticed. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to get started.